everyone, and welcome back to Ghouls Night In, the spooky chat show with your best ghoul friends. I'm Penny Snark.
And I'm Midge Munster. And today I want to start out a little bit different than normal. So,
Ooh,
hey Penny, I've got a little riddle for you.
I love riddles.
Do you?
I
You're
do
not gonna
love
like
riddles.
this one.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we go. What do a No Doubt song, Summertime in Australia, and My Studio have in common?
Ooh.
So I'm gonna give you a minute to ponder on that. And while we do that, we actually have something a bit new today. And we have our first little word from today's sponsor, which I think,
Ooh.
oh, you want to talk to us a little bit about our friends over there, Penny?
Yes, today's episode is brought to us by Omen, South Milwaukee, which
Woo!
is a alternative and subculture store located right here in South Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But you can shop it from wherever you are at omensouthmke.com. So this is a super fun store. I was so excited when this opened and I was able to have like a place where I could shop for goth and spooky things in
Yes.
person. Like,
Yeah.
what a
It's
treat. What a dream.
what a treat. What a dream. Yeah.
What a treat. What a dream. So this is such a fun store. They have clothing for men and women. They stock plus sizes in store, which I love. Bonnie, who is the owner, is really dedicated to making sure if a company makes the piece in plus size, she stocks the full range of sizes and really tries to primarily only stock pieces that have a wider range. But there's also handbags, there's shoes, there's bath products, and I always love kind of getting like you get almost like a small business 2-for-1 because Omen is a small business, but you can also shop from other great small businesses like Girl in the Graveyard, Strange Cult. There are a ton of cool earrings, which I know that a lot of our fans are very into,
I've
much like
never
we are.
I've never worn an earring before.
No. But yeah, thank you so much to Omen for sponsoring this episode, and we would love for you to check them out. So you can find them on social media at Omen South MKE, or like I said, omensouthmke.com.
Thank you so much, Omen, and we absolutely love to see spooky small businesses popping up, especially in our hometowns. Well, Penny's hometown in this case, but
Yes, yes.
um,
Next time you come up and visit, we're definitely going to
yeah,
Omen.
I told you that's my first stop next time I'm up.
Yes. All right. I've been thinking about your riddle, Midge, and I think I might have the answer.
Okay, what do the No Doubt song "Summertime in Australia" and My Studio have in common, Penny?
You're walking in the spider webs?
Walking in the spider webs.
Hey.
Yay! That is correct. So, yes, today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about spider webs.
Ooh.
This is something that I am weirdly I've always been very drawn to spider webs. I only, well, I do like spiders. I didn't when I was a kid. I was very scared of them. And then my dad got me a very cool book, which I wish I could find. Um, that like I just remember it had transparencies, like you could peel
Mm-hmm.
back the
Ooh.
layers and it showed kind of the internal workings of a spider, um, which of course has a lot to do with how they do this. So um, I think webs. I think anybody in the spooky community kind of loves a beautiful, elegant spider web print.
Oh yes.
Um, but let's talk a bit about them, in real life, their function. What are they? Why?
Why? Why'd you build that across this doorway and make me get it
Right.
on my face, spiders?
Yes. So, what are spider webs? Why do they build them? At their very base, of course, spiders' webs are their way of collecting food, of catching prey. Um, this was interesting. I learned something. I learned a lot, but they're also, sometimes called cobwebs, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Cobwebs are different in the sense that they are the like very specifically the sticky tangled webs that show up in
Okay.
your like crevices and things in your home. In other news, our sponsorship has just been pulled.
Cobwebs all up in your crevices.
And there's the episode title. So anyway, but yeah, they're like much like the Halloween decorations that are,
Yeah,
cobwebs. They're
they're
more of the
sticky.
bundles and they're sticky. So the word cobweb actually comes from an old English word cop, COPPE, cobweb, which literally translates to spider web. Um,
All right.
so like cop or cop, like it's COPPE or COPWEB was the word for spider. And I never knew, so that's
No, that
interesting.
is interesting.
I don't know why they needed a different word, but I guess maybe for a what is it called, like a consolidating of syllables
Yeah.
makes it shorter. But yeah, there are lots of different types of spider webs. There's cobwebs. There's the traditional what you think of, which is actually called like a spiral orb web. There are so many types because Earth has over 45,000 species of spiders,
Oh,
which
that's
is,
so many
yeah.
spiders.
I guess I should have put like an arachnophobia warning at the top of this episode. If you don't like spiders, this is not the episode for you. Or maybe you'll learn and then you'll like spiders.
True.
Uh, and that statistic was actually according to, which this is amazing that this exists, the World Spider Catalog.
Hey.
Hey, but that statistic was the most recent I could find, and that was in 2015. So there's probably even much more than that because new species of spiders are being discovered all the time. Uh, but they all, have their own different types of webs that they make. Like I said, the webs that Penny and I, as Americans, are probably the most familiar with are those of the orb weaver spider
Those
genus.
good old fashioned American spider
Those
webs.
good old fashioned American spiders, traditional family value
Yeah.
spiders. Uh, the orb weavers they're actually a really interesting family of spiders because they are one of the only ones that actively have been found to decorate their webs
Ooh.
with extra designs. Those extra designs,
Like some pig.
like some pig, exactly. um, and those designs are called, I hope I'm saying this right, stabilimenta.
Mm.
And the reason they were called that is because basically researchers for the longest time thought that these designs were structural. But then the more they learned about spiders, they found that a lot of webs don't have that stabilimenta. And so they, specifically nocturnal spiders, don't really have them. So it strongly suggests that these structures are specifically designed to be seen and just viewed, which is really cool. I like the idea of like spiders doing a little curb appeal.
Yeah, you want to look cool. I mean, you want all the other spiders to be like, that web's so sweet, bro.
That's a great web, bro. Good job. So and not all spiders build webs, but they all do have the ability to make silk, basically.
Hmm.
Um, and they do all kind of use this in different ways. So jumping spiders, for example, which are stinking cute. If you don't follow, I wish I knew her account. If you don't follow that lady on TikTok that has all the jumping spiders, go now. It will change everything you feel about spiders. They're so freaking cute. Uh, but they make little silken cells to hide in during the day that are basically like a little spider sleeping bag.
Oh.
And they just nestle in there. It's very cute. Um, and then other species do what is called ballooning, which is where they tip their abdomen up to the sky and release a web and then use it to float and travel by air. Their little butt hot air balloon.
Man,
So
I would like to see Spider-Man do that. I feel like that should be a new part of the Spider-Man mythos, that he can float on a little hot air balloon.
it wouldn't be as cute though because it'd be coming out of his fingers instead of
I guess.
his little butt.
His little booty.
But yeah, so if you've ever seen like we talked about in the riddle, pictures of like Australia or other places in the summertime just covered with webs. It's kind of haunting and spooky. I don't have a spider thing, but that does give me that heaves my
Yeah.
jeebs. But yeah, that's a direct effect of a bunch of small spiders using the ballooning technique, and it's usually during kind of their mating season when they're trying to all like spread out after being hatched. Um, but it's very cool that they can do that and that their webs are so diverse.
Yeah.
So all spider webs are basically the same material. It's this silk formed by protein strands that the spiders make in their abdomen. And this is a cool fun fact. So there is a spider. I don't think we have it. We definitely don't have it in the Midwest. I don't know if it lives in the U.S. at all because it's very specific to like warm
Hmm.
places. But the golden silk orb weaver spider has a web that has a gold sheen to it. Where, of course, as most of us know, most spider webs are kind of like whitish,
Hmm.
bluish, silveryish color. But their silk is like gold, and they actually used it to create a golden cape that was exhibited at the Victoria Albert Museum in
Ooh,
2012.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah, and so I was looking at pictures of it. It's so cool to, and I know in my mind that silk, comes from like silkworms and
Yeah.
it comes from insects, but like seeing something made by spider silk that was a whole ass garment, I was like, oh my god, that's like incredible.
Yeah, that's so cool. I
It's
love that.
incredible. I'll send you a picture of the cape. We can share
Yes.
it on the Instagram because it's really
Yes.
cool. Uh, and it actually turns out that spider webs are shiny for a reason, so that's cool. Many insects have better like visual, they can pick up better on UV wavelengths of light
Hmm.
rather than like light. So spider webs are actually like way more reflective in a UV light than just like sunlight, or or just like not sunlight, that is, but like your normal light. And so, as we know, like moths, things are drawn to a flame, drawn to a light, so it actually helps them attract their prey and get them caught in the
Oh,
web, which is very
sneaky.
cool. Yeah. And they uh they tend to apparently make their decorations and things. Some spiders will make those to resemble like vegetation gaps so that insects are more prone to like fly into them. It's very
Spiders, you're so smart.
there's it's very cool. It's very smart. Um, the silk material that they have is also incredibly strong. So there was a research done that scientists found that some spider silk of certain weights, which we'll get into in a second, is approximately 5 times stronger than steel of the same weight.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, like, stronger than steel. Let's hold on to that. That's nuts. And it has incredible tensile strength. So, meaning like you can pull it really, really far, stretch it without it breaking. So it's really, I don't know. That's so cool because I mean, you look at them and they're so delicate and
Yeah.
beautiful, right? But they're actually incredibly strong.
Yeah, I
So
feel like I have experienced that tensile strength as someone who has run
walked
into a
into
spider web, and I'm
your
like,
fair share.
I'm a whole sized full human being, and this web is doing me in.
Yeah, I mean, you can walk into it a fair amount before it'll snap
Yeah,
off
and
of
sometimes it
whatever
like
it's
will like
attached to.
pull at your face, and you're like, ah,
Hmm.
dang it.
And there's a reason for that too that we're gonna get
Oh,
into. So now, how do they build them?
how?
So spiders, like I said, they use this silk thread that is excreted from what is called their spinneret
Ooh.
in their body. It's on the back end of their abdomen, and this is really freaking cool. The spider can control the thread's thickness, texture, stickiness, all of these things while it's being drawn out of the spinneret. They have different spinnerets on them for different purposes. So most spiders have around 3, but some have up to 8 for different thread sizes.
Dang.
Which, like, what a little seamstress. They have
Right?
I think it's so cool. And then this silk, the protein chains, when it comes out of their abdomen, it's actually a liquid, and then it starts to harden as it hits air. So they basically, this is really cute to me. How they start to build a web is they pull a silk string from their gland, and then they like hold it up with their little back leg and wait for a breeze to catch it and do this kind of ballooning thing. They let it kind of float and it'll eventually stick to something. And they do this like up to 20 times when they're first starting. And then they go around and I'm picturing like a little, like a spider with a little construction hat on, like going from string to string, and they tug at them and see which ones are sticking well the
Oh, yes.
best, and then they'll go through and cut any of the ones that aren't strong enough to build the web. uh just so incredible. Like they're little engineers.
They are. I know. They're doing some structural testing, making sure everything's solid.
Yeah. And so these ones that they attach to the frame and kind of act as the main anchor lines, these are called mooring threads. And then there are 3 other main types of threads that are found in a spider web. So then next are the frame threads, and this is what they use to kind of create the connection points between the mooring threads. And then, of course, the next would be the radial threads, which is what we think of, right?
Hmm.
They start at the center and they run out in concentric circles out to the frame threads and make the traditional looking spider web. So then this is kind of Penny, what you're talking about when you're like, man, that is really stuck on there. These are called viscid threads, and this is a specific type of thread that the spider can pull, that is coated with a like an enzyme from their stomach that makes a like glue coated thread.
Ooh.
And this is what they actually run to trap the insects. So these are run in between the radial threads, and they are often about a third of the diameter of a human hair.
Oof.
So they're very, very small. So if you've ever, and I don't know who has done this amongst us, definitely not Penny, as we can tell. If you've ever walked through a spider web, and you like can see most, you see it and pull it off of you and whatever, and you still feel it on
Yeah.
you, it's the viscid threads. They are so tiny, you can barely see them, but they have this, yeah, kind of glue substance. And a lot of spiders have little hooks on their that very very tiny on their legs, and they can actually like rough up the thread as they're pulling it to make it more clingy, basically,
Oh
to
man.
capture their prey. um so yeah, that's the basic structure of the web. I did not know that there was so much to it, and I think it's fascinating.
It is. I do always wonder when if one would ever accidentally walk into a
If that happened.
could happen if the spider is like, a premium at like he's like, "Ah, I almost caught such a big one." Like,
Well, and you've led me into my next point brilliantly. Um, so it takes a lot of energy for a spider to do this because they're using their protein source basically to
mhm.
create the web. So in an instance where a spider has like just completed a new web and the web is destroyed, they probably don't have sufficient silk to complete a new web that day. So it can be really like harmful to them if their webs are destroyed because they don't catch any food that day and therefore can't like replenish their protein source. But they are thrifty little guys. And so spiders can actually eat their own web and
What?
recycle the silk proteins.
Oh
And
man,
like,
that's very handy.
isn't that cool? This is Midge's science corner. I'm just like, isn't that freaking cool? Um, but yeah, try your best. Obviously, we all walk into them all the time,
Yeah.
especially summertime. I feel like I walk into one every couple weeks at least, walking out my front door. But do your best if you can to not destroy a spider's web because it is their main source of uh, getting food and surviving, and that's their they worked really hard on it, guys.
They did. I will do my best, spiders, but if you insist on building webs directly across
Directly
the
in front of my
doorway,
front
there's
door.
not a whole lot that I can do.
do do better, spiders.
Find scout out your location with a little bit more thought. You're already doing all this engineering work. Maybe just consider a different site.
Well, they're an engineer. They're not a city planner. Maybe they
They're like
didn't
right here.
they didn't get the right permits. It's really a mess. Uh, one of my this is a bit of a side note, but one of my favorite memes that comes up every year around this, around Halloween time is that one that's it's just a text meme. There's no photos or anything, but it says like spider watching me like clear the cobwebs out of my house, and he's like, "Oh, nice." And then it's like spider watching me put up fake cobwebs for Halloween. He's like, "Oh, really nice."
I love that. Yes. So true. So true. Just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. But yeah, spiders are and I completely understand why people are afraid of them. They can be they can well, first of all, they can be big. They can be daunting and spooky, and some of them do have, venom and things. I think actually most of them have venom. Some of them mouths are just too small to bite.
Yeah.
But really, in the long run, spiders are really good for the environment. They're really good for your home. They catch other insects and pests and things. And yeah, just be kind to spiders, guys.
Yes.
They're good little guys. They're just trying to help out, and they're only spooky looking because they need all those legs to build those beautiful webs. They got they got a lot going on
Need
there.
them. They got a lot to do.
They got a lot of work to do, and they're constantly under construction. I did read that they build basically a new web every day.
Wow.
Most
Yeah.
spiders, which is crazy, um, and yeah, hard at work. But that's the main little. I think I'll probably do a whole other episode just on like spiders themselves and types of
Hmm.
spiders. I could have gone really deep today.
Yeah, for sure.
um, but that's the general information about spider webs. I hope this was interesting to you listeners. I really was. I've already been fascinated by them, and reading just made me even more like in awe of spiders and all that they do. I think they're incredible. Um, yeah.
Science time.
Science, Midge's Science Corner.
Love
Uh,
it.
if you are enjoying Ghouls Night In, we would love for you to leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you do, we might just read it right here on the air. And I believe we have a new review to read today. Don't we, Penny?
Oh, we sure do, Mitch. This review is from EGG Art 79, titled "I
Ah.
Love These Spooky Ghouls." I truly love this podcast from the bottom of my wicked little heart. Perfect for lovers of the goofy and spooky, the creepy and crawly, and the icky and ooky.
What a perfect review for today's episode, The Creepy and the Crawly.
Right, it is. And this review happens to be a special review, an extra
It
special
does.
review, because this review is from the lovely El Gato Gomez, who designed and painted an incredible painting for us, that we commissioned that you are going to be able to get on merch. Bow, bow, bow,
Woo!
bow. Yes, so we are so excited. We have been working with her for a while on putting this piece together, and we're so excited to finally be bringing some cool stuff into your life. So if you love things that are retro and spooky, we hope that you will love this design It's so cool. I'm obsessed with it. I know
Yeah.
Midge is as well.
Yeah, Agata did an incredible job, and we're so thankful that she agreed. She doesn't normally take commissions, so the fact that she agreed to do this and is a fan of the podcast is like so incredible, and we're so appreciative. But yeah, the design is incredibly cute. We'll be sharing it soon over on the, if we haven't already by the time this airs, uh, over on the Ghouls Night in Pod, or yeah, Ghouls Night in Pod Instagram. So definitely check that out, and we'll have links available to you to get us on a sticker or a shirt or whatever your little heart desires.
Yes, I'm so excited. I am gonna rock a shirt with
it's
this
mo-
all over the place.
it's mostly just for Penny and I.
Right.
We want a
We
shirt.
want shirts. And if you guys also want shirts, then that's also cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for listening today. It is always a pleasure talking to you. If you are wanting to keep in touch with us, like I said, you can head on over to Instagram at Ghouls Night in Pod and check us out there. Check out our great new art. We would love to have you join the discussion in our comments on our weekly posts there. And if you are looking for me specifically, you can find me across all platforms at Midge Munster.
And you can find me at Penny Snark. And don't forget to check out our sponsor at Omen South MKE.
Yes, thank you so much, Omen, for sponsoring today's episode.
Yes, and until next time,
Goodbye.
goodbye.